my way now. You just give me a...
Hey lovelies, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to be recording for you all today because today's topic is highly requested. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on videos, because come on, just do it. So today we are going to be talking about micro influencing, or just becoming a content creator in general. So one of my most popular videos on TikTok is about my media kit, and I'll go ahead and insert that TikTok now.
Exposing my media kit that I send to brands.
Hi everyone, so here is my media kit. As you can see, it is nice, clean, simple, and easy to read. I use Canva to go ahead and create my media kit. They also have different templates on Etsy that you can purchase. But yes, I have my About Me section, my demographics, a couple of photos that I've done for brands. At the very bottom, I mentioned some brands that I've worked with. And then here's my services and rates card. This is optional to include. I do want to stress though that my rates are the highest amount that I think my content is worth. There's always room for negotiation, and be sure to include your contact information. But there you go. As you can see, that video got a ton of views, a ton of comments and questions about how to start content creating. I got a lot of messages on TikTok during that time, and I figured I should just make a video about it, answering all the questions and tips and tricks. So I wrote down my notes in my notepad because my phone is dead, guys. Like, my phone's dead. It's so crazy how we, like, once my phone dies, I feel like a part of me is just over, which is bad, I guess, but I don't know. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how I got into content creating and what sort of inspired me to do so. So I have always loved YouTube. I've loved YouTube from like the days of Jackie Aina, Raven Elise TV. When all of those YouTubers first came out, I was obsessed with YouTube. But I never really thought that I could do something like that. So I would just, you know, watch videos. And around the time when I had my daughter, I actually got laid off of work and I didn't have anything else to do. So I was like, let me try to get into this content creating world. So I actually started off creating mom content. I followed a lot of mom creators, and I had subscribed to a lot of blogs because I was a first-time mom. And so I wanted to take people on my journey. So I started off doing that. I did decide to go ahead and end that because I just didn't feel comfortable putting my daughter on the internet like that. But I knew I still wanted to do influencing. So I decided to just stick to beauty, skincare, and lifestyle because I'm obsessed with skincare. I have so much skincare. It's crazy. So I knew that that was the niche that I wanted to get into. And from there, I went ahead and started to do research. So that's around when TikTok first became popular. I was researching what other creators that like the same things as me, what they were posting, what they were doing. I was looking up hashtags, all of that. Once I went ahead and just kind of did some research, looked around and saw what other people were doing, I had to tell myself, what is my goal for influencing? And I had 3 goals for myself. Number 1, I wanted to, no matter what, make sure I was enjoying posting content. Like, I know you can make money from posting content, which is also a goal of mine, but at the end of the day, I wanted it to still feel like something that I enjoyed. So number 2, I wanted to make income with posting content. And I knew this was gonna take some time and some effort and energy and work, but it definitely is obtainable. And then my third goal is I wanted to be able to network. So I wanted to go ahead and reach out and become friends or just acquaintances with influencers who are just starting out as me. So I do have a couple of online besties now, so hey you guys. But yeah, so those are my 3 goals with content creating. And with that, I simply just started. At the end of the day, you can do all this research and networking, but if you don't start and create the content, you're not a micro influencer or influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call yourself. Start. There's never a right time to start, and that trips a lot of people up. Like, some people say, okay, once I do this research and get this camera and this ring light and this whatever, I'm gonna start my content. And then 3 months down the line, you still don't have those things and you still have no content. And I know, because I was one of those people. But use what you have. Use what you have. So when I was first starting, I had my iPhone. I do have cameras. So I did have DSLR cameras and ring lights and tripods because I was also into photography and I was a digital media student. Okay, I'm back. I had to get a new memory card. Start with whatever equipment you have. So an iPhone is perfectly fine. A camera is perfectly fine. As long as you have some good lighting, whether that is a ring light from Amazon or natural sunlight, create content. And as far as a lot of people trip up about, oh, what content should I create? What video should I make? And they spend all this time trying to copy other influencers' content. But just create whatever you want to feel like it. If you want to get on YouTube and document every single day of your life, do it. Because guess what? Vlog content is popular right now. People want to watch other people's lives. It's a method of escape for some people. Some people find it interesting. I don't know. Hey, I watch vlogs all the time. So no one's content is going to be the same. And at the end of the day, you are an individual, and the reason why, you know, eventually other brands and other influencers will want to work with you is because you are you. But if you guys want to know specifically about the equipment I use, I can do another video on that, and I'll also have some links in the description box of my Amazon storefront where you can purchase the same kind of equipment that I use. So now we're going to talk about different apps that I use to edit my content. So as far as TikTok, now TikTok has the feature where you can do studio, so you can edit your video content directly through TikTok, which is great. I also use CapCut to edit videos. As far as pictures, it depends on the type of picture. Typically I used to use Facetune, but I stopped using Facetune, and now I use the Epic app, which has filters. You can also like take some imperfections off your face and things of that nature. So the Epic app, I love that app. I also use, what is the other one? Dazcam. I use the Dazcam app to have like the Polaroid or filter effect on my pictures. So there are a ton of apps available for you to use. You can also edit content as far as TikToks and Instagram Reels through iMovie. And you can also edit them through InstaShot. InstaShot was the program, the app that I used before I used CapCut. So there are a ton of apps you can use. Just at the end of the day, figure out which one works best for you. I wouldn't get too hung up on, oh, you have to use CapCut because that's the trend right now. There are other video apps you can use to get the same effects as CapCut if that does not work for you. So my problem wasn't necessarily creating content, because I could think of an idea and record it and be done. My problem began when I started working with brands and scheduling out content. And so to combat that, I actually created a digital download, which is an ultimate content planner. And in that planner, I'm able to use my iPad and just write out any ideas that I have, when I need to post, what type of video. That content planner that I created literally saved my life. And if you guys are interested in that, I can also link my Stan Store down below, and you guys can check it out if you want to. The next step after you have done your research, you started, you created content, you want to work with brands, okay? Let's face it, every influencer wants to work with brands, whether that is on a gifted basis or a paid basis. And with that, at the end of the day, as an influencer, you have to understand it requires work. Being a content creator it looks fun, and it is fun, and it can be fun and rewarding, but there's also work that goes behind it at the end of the day. Like, there have been times where I've spent like 2 hours recording a TikTok, editing a TikTok, coming up with the caption for a TikTok. That's a lot of work, okay? So when you are at the point where you want to decide to work with brands, you need to make sure that, number one, you have quality content. Quality content, okay? So you need to understand that brands are not just gonna work with anyone that's just posting regular content. And what I mean by that is the pictures are blurry, or you're just throwing together a video. Brands will notice that. So take some time and really make sure that you're posting quality work before you reach out to brands. So the second thing is, before you start reaching out to brands, create a professional email. Do not email these brands from starfacekissyface@gmail.com. No. Okay. You can use a Gmail account, but just make it professional. Have your first and last name, or have your social media name. Like, my social media name is Kamari Mai. That has been my social media name since I've been on social media in like 8th grade. Everyone thinks that Mai is actually my real name, but it's not at all. It's just the name that I picked, and that's just what people associate me with. So, and it's professional. It doesn't sound crazy. So have a professional email in your bio where brands can reach out to you, and vice versa. You want to make sure that you are working with brands that represent you, brands that fit your niche. So for me, I work with a lot of skincare and hair care companies. I've done a fitness collab before, but like, fitness isn't something that's in my niche, quote unquote. So you want to reach out to brands that fit you. I wouldn't necessarily just start reaching out to all these brands and accepting these collabs just because you want to make money, because then that's not genuine. So do your research on brands. Last thing I'm going to say about brand outreach is, brands are going to ask for a media kit, which is why my video blew up so much on TikTok. So thank you all for liking that video. But what a media kit is, it pretty much sums up your work on like one page. So pretty much it's a resume, but for social media. And there are a ton of templates out there. I have a template myself, but feel free to create that how you choose. But you want to have a media kit because it just showcases everything. But a media kit will not stand alone. So what I used to do when I first started out was just send my little media kit and talk to these brands. But you need to understand that brands get 10,000 emails a day from all these influencers with their little media kits, and it's the same thing. So what I recommend people to do now is, when you send your media kit, maybe send an example of a video that you could create for this product or this company, excuse me, or send a time frame for when you can complete the product, the deliverables, whether that is a video, photo, whatever. Send them examples. Make sure you watermark those examples if it's a product that's for that brand. But yes, you have to be able to put yourself out there when it comes to reaching for brands. And granted, some brands will reach out to you, and that's another topic in itself, because there are scams and all that stuff. So yes, just take your time. Do not feel like you need to rush into having these brand collabs, because at the end of the day, everything will fall into place and things will come as they're meant to be. You can join a lot of platforms to help gain those brand collabs, and they are, I have like a little fruit fly. So you can also join a lot of platforms that help influencers get collabs. So a couple that I can name off the top of my head are Octoly, which has which strictly does gifted collabs. Activate has paid and gifted collabs. Brand Ambassador has paid and gifted collabs. Influencer has paid and gifted collabs. So there are a ton of platforms that you can go ahead and pick and work with, and each platform does have their own requirements, but regardless, I would definitely look into those if you have at least 1,000 followers, because once you have 1,000 followers, you can at least get gifted collabs. Then my last thing when it comes to being a micro influencer is be confident. A lot of times it can be discouraging, especially when you are on TikTok and you see all these influencers and they are posting about how they got this much money in this collab or this brand, and it can get you down sometimes. But just remember that there's no one like you, and when you put in the when you put in the hard work, you can be on their level too. Because literally those TikTokers that you see, their accounts blew up within like months. So you just have to be genuine to yourself. This was just my little intro video on things I did to start my macro influencer journey. I think I'm going to make this a series on how I started and dive deeper into specific topics. So feel free to comment on this video and let me know what you all want me to talk about as far as my micro influencing journey. Yeah, and so I'm gonna go grab my phone real quick and go back to that media kit video and see if I can answer some of those questions specifically. So one moment. And so I'm gonna put myself on blast out here, because I will say in this media kit video, I misspelled the word contact, and so many people called me out on it, and like it was an error on my part, but luckily I hadn't sent it out. When I recorded this screenshot, I hadn't sent it out at the moment, so I went ahead and fixed it. But it was just crazy because I kept getting comments like, oh, you spelled contact wrong. Like, okay, I get it. Are you done? But let's go through the comments. So I will say I got a lot of support on this video. A lot of influencers commented saying things like, this made me feel better knowing I don't have many followers either. We can all do it. So I guess the first question is, do you need a lot of followers to be an influencer? No, you don't. You can have 1,000 followers. I would say $1,000. I need money. I would say 1,000 followers is definitely a good start as an introduction into influencing. Another thing that people commented is, I personally wouldn't put your rates on your media kit. Girl, please raise your prices. Well, thank you. I'm glad you think I'm worth to get paid more. But a lot of people have this controversial, it was like going all over TikTok if you should put your rates in your media kit. So me personally, I don't put my rates directly in my media kit. So I will send my media kit, and then if a brand reaches back and says, oh, can we have your rates, yada yada yada, I will send them my rate card. So I will definitely send it separately. I wouldn't just send it out right away because there is an opportunity for negotiation. All right, someone said, can you make a video on content collaborations you did thus far? Curious to know what goes into it. I would have to make a whole separate video for that, but I can tell you a couple of brands that I've worked with. These are gifted and paid, like whatever. I worked with Amika Hair. I still currently work with them. I worked with Spascriptions. I worked with Banish. I've worked with Shapermint. I worked with NYX. Like, probably NYX is actually my favorite collaboration that I've done, just because their bras are so comfortable. But I'm wearing one now. But that's not, okay, whatever. But those are just a few brands that I've worked with. Someone asked how I take my photos. So the headshot that I actually use for my media kit, which I will insert here, I actually took that photo on my iPhone with my ring light in my bedroom. So you can have high quality photos, and that's a separate video that I will have to get into on how I did that and how I edited my photos, but I can definitely do that for you all. Can you talk about how you knew what prices to set yourself at? I'm struggling with that. So as far as my prices, I kind of did some research. There's also a rate calculator, which if I find the link, I'll post it to the one I use. But pretty much I use that and just kind of priced myself. Those were just a couple of the questions I got off that video. And I just want to say thank you to all the people who did comment on that video saying I inspired them. It's greatly much appreciated because I am still on my own journey as a content creator and influencer. And we're gonna wrap up this video. Thank you all for listening and taking my advice and my tips and tricks. I really hope that this video gave you some type of insight on the content creator world. And with that being said, I actually have an announcement. So as you guys know, I was previously a part of a influencing management agency, which unfortunately did close. However, me and a few of the ladies decided to open up our own influencer management agency called Visionary You. So I'm so excited to get this journey started and to work with content creators and aspiring content creators to help them become the content creator they envision themselves to be. So if you are interested, you want to learn more about what we do and how we can help you, I will post all of that information in the description box below. Hi lovelies, make sure you subscribe. Go check out my other videos because I would just love it if you checked out my recent vlogs from my Europe trip. So yeah, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.